The first person we were introduced to in the story of One Piece was none other than the Pirate King himself, Gol D. Roger. This was a man that had accomplished it all and stood at the pinnacle of the pirate world. And by the end of chapter 1, our main character, Monkey D. Luffy, declares he will become the next Pirate King. Welcome to the Straw Hat Dream series, a series where we'll be going through and breaking down each and every Straw Hat's dream and how exactly they will accomplish those dreams. If you want to show some extra support for this series, be sure to hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, I felt like Luffy was the perfect person to start the series with. Obviously, he's the main character of the story and his dream is really what drives the story forward. Like yes, all the other Straw Hats have their own individual dreams, but at the end of the day, they're still under Luffy's command and move forward because of Luffy's dream. And of course, their belief in him accomplishing his dream and becoming the Pirate King is part of the reason they joined the crew. Some of the most iconic moments within the story are the moments where the Straw Hats declare that Luffy will become the Pirate King. So clearly, Luffy's dream to become the Pirate King is a very big part of the story. Not only is it reiterated as a joke every time he introduces himself, but it's also used with iconic moments like at the end of chapter 1000. So it feels like Luffy's dream should be the most straightforward. Just go to Laugh Tale, get the One Piece, and become the Pirate King. But lately, what Luffy's dream actually is kind of up in the air. And all of this actually starts back with the Ace flashback where we see Luffy, Sabo, and Ace. The three of them are kind of talking about why they want to become pirates and what they want to accomplish in the future. And when it's Luffy's turn to speak, he says, "I'm going to be," and it cuts away. Next, we get Sabo and Ace's reaction, and then right after that, we get another reaction of them kind of laughing at Luffy for being silly. Now, initially, when everybody saw that, they thought, okay, Luffy said, "I'm going to become the Pirate King," something he says all the time. And of course, a little kid saying that is going to sound silly to people like Sabo and Ace. But now things have changed because recently in the Oden flashback, Roger said the same thing. This Roger moment within the Oden flashback is an exact parallel of what happened with Luffy. You have Roger declaring a dream of some sort saying, "I'm going to be," and it cuts away. Next, we see Oden and Whitebeard reacting the same way Sabo and Ace did, and they even have like the same bandages and everything. Following that, we get a reaction from Whitebeard calling Roger childish, so kind of the same reaction Sabo had. So because of the parallels of those moments, you would think those two said the same thing. Well, here's where it gets interesting because it's highly unlikely that Roger said that he was going to become the Pirate King, because the title of Pirate King was gifted to Roger after he discovered the One Piece, and that was given to him by the world government. So the title of Pirate King was non-existent before Roger. So there was no way for Roger to know of this title of Pirate King, so that couldn't have been his dream. Even when Roger heard that they called him the Pirate King, his reaction was, "Oh, that's pretty cool, I kinda like that." If becoming a so-called Pirate King was his dream, his reaction would have been much greater. So yeah, it's very unlikely that Roger's dream was to become the Pirate King, and if that's the case, then that's not actually Luffy's dream. Now you might be saying, just because it's a parallel moment, that's not enough. Well, we've gotten confirmation in recent chapters as well. Yamato, who read Oden's journal, confirmed that Roger and Luffy said the exact same words. And if you want to add to it even more, Shanks told Rayleigh that Luffy said the same words that Roger did. So yeah, it's very clear that Luffy and Roger had the same dream, and that dream wasn't to become the Pirate King. So that's right, we've been bamboozled this entire series, and now begs the question of, what is Luffy's actual dream? Well, one very popular theory that a lot of people have gotten behind is that Luffy's dream is to throw a gigantic party. The person that I saw come up with this theory was Artur from the Library of Ohara. He did a great video breaking down his thoughts, so definitely go check that video out. I'll link it in the description below. But yeah, this idea is definitely very fitting with Luffy's character and how he acts and what he wants. The big grand party is a common theme within the story of One Piece, something that we see throughout the story. It's also something Oda loves to draw as well. The party at the end of Skypiea was one of his favorite scenes to draw. So throwing a big party being Luffy's dream could make sense, and we've seen that Roger also likes parties himself. And the reaction of Sabo and Ace and Whitebeard would make sense if that was the dream. But there's one main issue that I have with this dream, and that is Roger and Luffy specifically said that they were going to be something. Now personally, I don't know Japanese, so I can't go to the original text to try to figure it out. So if anybody actually knows Japanese and could translate that, definitely let me know in the comments if it actually means like I'm going to be something. But yeah, for right now, we really only have the official to go off of, so I'm gonna take that as them saying they're gonna be something. And with that line of dialogue, it really doesn't work with party. The only way you could really make it work is like, I'm going to be the host of a gigantic party, which Luffy does not speak proper like that. So yeah, that's really my only issue with this theory, but if the translation is somehow different or it got messed up, this theory is definitely very possible. But another theory a lot of people believe is that Luffy's actual dream is to become the freest man in the world. Now, this dream obviously makes sense with Luffy's character, but the problem with this is that it really doesn't fit their reactions. Like, if Luffy and Roger said, I want to be the freest person possible, and people laughed at them, that would be kind of messed up. I think the way this could work is like Oda spins it some way into like a metaphor that sounds silly, but at the core of it, it's really Luffy and Roger wanting to be free. And that's what I really believe at the end of the day. Whether it's Luffy wanting to throw a big party or becoming the freest man, freedom is really what he's after. Even with like the party thing, I feel like it's him wanting everybody to be free and just having a good time and being able to just party and hang out. So for me, it really doesn't matter what the specific thing is gonna turn out to be, because at the end of the day, it's just Luffy trying to achieve freedom. Oh yeah, another theory is like Luffy saying, I'm gonna be the first person in space, which I've always said I'm not gonna be mad at a Straw Hat space trip, but that does feel a little random to me to be his dream, but it's definitely not impossible. But even with this dream, it still comes back to freedom and being able to go anywhere. So now let's talk about how exactly Luffy achieves this freedom that he's seeking. Well, first and foremost, he's definitely still gonna have to become the Pirate King. It's still something that he wants to do. Now, obviously, to do that, you need the One Piece, and of course, you need the road poneglyphs. And with the road poneglyphs, he's actually off to a really good start. It's kind of funny to think about, but Luffy is the only person in the world right now with 2 road poneglyphs. Now, of course, with the other 2 road poneglyphs, one is completely unknown, and the other one Kaido has. Now, I do believe by the end of Wano, Kaido will definitely go down, but the fact that we still have not seen his road poneglyph yet makes me wonder if like we are gonna get that by the end of Wano. Maybe he actually has it hidden somewhere else, or maybe it's a scenario where Big Mom actually is not defeated and she steals that and leaves. So that's definitely a possibility, but eventually I do think they will get their hands on this one easily. But the final question is, where exactly is this last poneglyph? Well, there's a variety of options, but there's a few that I really like. One thought that I had that I really would enjoy is that perhaps the Whitebeard pirates have it, because the last time we saw that road poneglyph, it was in Fishman Island, and eventually, as we know, Whitebeard took over Fishman Island. So maybe Whitebeard ended up taking that and hiding it somewhere, and now Marco knows that location, and this could lead us to a mini Whitebeard pirates arc after Wano. I do think we should see some of the other Whitebeard pirates like Vista and Jozu and Whitey Bay. Like, I don't think it's the last we've seen them in the story, plus the Weevil storyline, that's still gotta come back into the main storyline somehow. And for that to happen, the Whitebeard pirates really have to be connected with the Straw Hats, because the story always follows the Straw Hats. So if Weevil were to get involved in the story somehow, I feel like the Whitebeard pirates have to be involved with the Straw Hats. So in this scenario, maybe after Wano, we get a chill exploration arc. We see some of the other Whitebeard pirates, the Weevil thing gets resolved, and then you could get your hands on another poneglyph. But I do see an issue where now Luffy has all 4 and he could just go straight to Laugh Tale, which I do feel like it's a little too early and there's other things to sort out. So that leads us to another option, is that Blackbeard actually has a road poneglyph, because maybe the Whitebeard pirates actually did hide it somewhere, but remember, there was the Payback War and Blackbeard took over a lot of those territories. And personally, I do believe Blackbeard is going to be Luffy's main rival, and he's going to be the final obstacle before Laugh Tale. And I'm not sure I really like the scenario where Luffy has all the poneglyphs and Blackbeard just swoops in and we get just a 1v1. Instead, if you have Blackbeard actually having one, that creates a direct link between those two and makes it so they have to interact. So that's definitely a possible option. And then the last option is that Shanks somehow has it. Now, first off, the weird thing here is that why does no one know Shanks has it? But I guess he is a secretive man and maybe he's just been hiding it somewhere all along. And this will be a very fun scenario as well. Obviously, the Straw Hats and Red Hair Pirates have to meet each other eventually, and I've always liked the idea of a Davy back fight, and the road poneglyph could be a perfect reward for that. And just thinking about that arc where you get Shanks versus Luffy, Usopp versus his dad, maybe Mihawk is there, and you get Zoro versus Mihawk. I'm definitely gonna make a Red Hair Pirates video soon because I'm so excited for them to show up in the story. But yeah, Shanks having it could have a lot of ties. Maybe we go to Elbaf afterwards if that's actually his base. Of course, like I mentioned, the Davy back fight could be a thing. A lot of people also think Blackbeard might kill Shanks and take that 4th poneglyph, and that way you will spur this final matchup of Luffy and Blackbeard. So yeah, overall I do feel like these are all options, but it's all gonna follow that same trajectory. Like, Luffy definitely has to meet up with Shanks and have that interaction. This Whitebeard stuff does have to get figured out eventually, and also Blackbeard versus Luffy has to happen. And also, that's another possible option, is that the 4th road poneglyph maybe is just on some unexplored island. Like, Lodestar is an island that I do feel like we absolutely have to go go to. That's another island for some reason nobody besides the Roger pirates were able to reach. So maybe on that island is where Roger dropped it off, and maybe that's the fighting stage for Luffy and Blackbeard. But on the topic of meeting Shanks and defeating Blackbeard, I do feel like Luffy has to beat all of the Yonko before he becomes the Pirate King. Or it's not really about becoming the Pirate King, but it's more so to achieve his dream of absolute freedom. You see, Luffy specifically said before that he will take down all of the Yonko. Now in the Shanks scenario, obviously it's not gonna be like a fight to the death. It'll probably be like a Davy back fight or like some sort of fun, like friendly fight. He'll definitely still take it serious. I think it will be a very good fight to see how far Luffy has come. But yeah, Luffy has made it a goal to defeat all of the Yonko, and I do feel like that has to do with his dream of absolute freedom. Because right now, 4 Yonko rule the sea and have control over it. And I feel like Luffy wants a world where everybody can explore freely and just go on an adventure without worrying about ending up in a Yonko territory. So I definitely do think that's part of the reason why he wants to defeat all the Yonko. But even beyond that, he kind of has ties to all of them. In regards to Shanks and Luffy, in chapter 1, when Luffy declares that he will become the Pirate King, Shanks literally says, "You're gonna have to become better than me." So that means there's gotta be a scenario where Luffy and Shanks compete in some way and Luffy surpasses him. Obviously with the Kaido thing where Luffy is carrying on a lot of people's wills of defeating Kaido. With Big Mom, it goes all the way back to Fishman Island where Luffy said, "I'm gonna take you down." And of course with Blackbeard, he was the one that turned an ace, so those two are gonna absolutely go at it. So yeah, the path for Luffy achieving his dream is defeating all of the Yonko, getting all the poneglyphs, and finding the One Piece. At that point, he'll become the Pirate King, a dream that he's reiterated throughout the entire story. But I think that's when we find out that's not his actual dream and he wants more in regards to freedom. Because once we get to Laugh Tale, we'll probably find out about the Void Century and how bad the world government is. And throughout the story, when Luffy sees somebody is oppressed and somebody's freedom is being taken away, he absolutely just stands up and helps. And I think in this scenario, the world government will be the final opponent and Luffy will go there, defeat him, and the whole world will be free. They can have a big party, maybe they go to space, all of it could come true. Now personally, that's just how I believe the story will go and it's my headcanon. But with the way the story is brewing right now, with how much stuff is going in the background, I gotta admit it's definitely not impossible that after Wano we go to the world government. It's definitely possible that either Hancock, Sabo, or Vivi, or maybe even all of them are captured. At that point, Luffy would definitely not sit still and maybe we just have a war on the world government right after Wano. And then after that will be more exploration and fighting Blackbeard and all that kind of stuff. Personally, I just don't see it because there's so much more to flesh out with Shanks and Blackbeard. And honestly, I just want to see more exploration and Straw Hats like going on an adventure again before we get into this final war where Dragon reveals his true powers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, overall, those are my thoughts on how Luffy will achieve his dream of becoming the Pirate King and the freest man and throwing the biggest party and maybe going to space. But I definitely want to hear your opinions on this, so let me know in the comments below. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please hit that like button. To keep up with this channel and the series, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified. Thank you to all my King Pirates Elite members on YouTube and Patreon for supporting the channel. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Twitch at I'm DZack, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!